So who will make a Superman game? Or who will take the risk to bring a Superman game to the market? Because, fans, we always ask for all this awesome stuff. But in most cases, it's very difficult to put these things in, put these things in practice. A video game is not easy to develop. A game like a Superman game, you have to be darn sure that you're going to sell that game and you're going to have people to buy the game, because it seems like, fans are torn when you mention Superman and video game together. There's just all kinds of, dust that gets raised up. And, one of the things that I think is there was the Superman game in the past, I think the Superman 64 and then another Superman game. I have never played any of these games. The closest that I've been to a Superman game is Injustice 2. And that's because when the N64 was out, I was busy playing GoldenEye and Mortal Kombat 4 and Mario Kart. I think those were the games that I was busy playing, so I never really got around to touching any Superman game. Now, that being said, I've been seeing a lot of the community talk about the possibility of a Superman game, and many people have made proposals here and there. Even I made a video on my secondary channel where I actually provided just a little bit of a hypothesis onto why I think that Rocksteady, who made 3 of the Arkham games, are working on a Superman game. That video actually did very well. It's got like 9,000 views for a no-name channel. I thought that was actually pretty cool, and I got a lot of feedback. I got a lot of pushback, and I did state my my reasons. But I wanted to kind of talk about this same topic here on the Gamey Daddy channel, because there's still some trends that I still see. And for some strange reason, I cannot just get over the, fact that a Superman game is not going to be coming around in the near future. Now, fine, Rocksteady's head has said that they are not making a Superman game. Okay, whatever. But if you look at the place where the so-called rumor was first leaked, there's a very obscure website called GameSystemRequirements.com. I say obscure, not in the sense that it's like fishy. It's just a website that's designed for forums and designed for discussions. And this website still has the Superman World's Finest still listed. Now, in the past, Game System Requirements has received leaks that were actually credible, and they left the leaks on there. I think in terms of Resident Evil, they may have gotten, kind of published a page for that game, and eventually that game actually got released in the way that it was actually leaked and rumored. And they still have the Superman World's Finest game there. Who knows? It may not be a game. It may be a game that's, going to be coming out. But then, as many people may say that it's difficult to make a Superman game, how are you going to achieve the flying in terms of the mechanics? I mean, we're talking first about the logistics. Who's going to make it? People are there that can make it. But then you talk about the mechanics. How is it going to be made? And that's what brings me to this footage that you're seeing on the screen here in front of you. This is a footage from a game that's on Steam that's free called Undefeated. I think it's free. If you go to the Steam store, and you can download this game, it's like a little, in my opinion, I call it like a pet project, but it looks like a lot of work was put into, this so-called little project, and you'll be really surprised to see how well they've been able to make this game, and they use the Unreal Engine to do it. Whoever did this game, let me see who the publisher is. Publisher says Vantan Game Academy. That might be, like I said, it might be, it just seems like I don't know, Vantan Game Academy seems like a little, that's why I said it looks like a science project. There it is. Let's just put it in Google. Let me look up Google and say, okay, so this is actually a place in, I think it says Tokyo. I think it's in Japan. I think it's a school in Japan. From what I'm seeing here on Google, right now it says it's open, but it's like 10 p.m. in the US. So probably open out there in Japan. And I think that's what this game is. I think this game is probably like a little pet project that, I would say novice developers or students who are working on in order for them to maybe, finish their class or something like that. And that's what the game looks like. But if you look at the way this game runs and this game plays, it definitely tells me that there is a possibility for a roadmap for a Superman game. And if you wanted to make a Superman game based around his powers being fully developed and he not experiencing any issues or any deterrent in his life, because sure, if you want him to blaze and blast through Metropolis and maybe boom zoom his way back down to Smallville, Kansas, in order for you to make some scenes of the movie, or blast zoom his way to Krypton or to some foreign planet in order for him to be able to continue missions, you can build multiple worlds or multiple environments with different landscapes, different vegetation, maybe different monsters for him to deal with as part of your storyline. Or you can write a pre-story of Superman based on his powers probably being formed and mature. And I think that there are just so many ways that a game like this can be written and done very well. And just this little tiny project here with this game called Undefeated just makes me continue to wonder in amazement why nobody wants to touch the Superman IP. And I guess we can say there might not be the practicality to getting it done. Maybe the fan base in terms of testing and surveys, maybe they've tried to put out a few things there and fans did not seem to respond positively or respond in the way that they expected. Or just maybe the decision makers, because this is a DC, Superman is a DC comic IP, so there's no way they're going to be able to make a game like that without the top, executives or people who are in charge are saying we're giving this project a green light. So I think maybe somebody may have pitched this to the people who are the decision makers and they just shut it down. Or maybe nobody wants to deal with pitching it. But I think if there's a studio out there that's capable of doing something like this, did I say if there's a studio? I would say if there's a studio that's interested in doing something like this, I feel like they ought to at least give it a shot and come up with some kind of a prototype that is 20 times better than, this little game over here, and maybe take it to the executives and say, hey, look at what we have, and we think this is where this is going to actually go. It may not even be a company like Rocksteady that, will do something like that. I first thought, Rocksteady will probably be in the best position. And if you watch my other video, I did mention that Rocksteady seemed like they'll be in the best position to do it because they're actually a very good studio. I mean, judging from their 3 Arkham games that we have received and maybe their older titles. But you also have Insomniac, who is a sleeping giant, in my opinion. I say sleeping because Spider-Man seems to have moved, away from the airwaves, but they are still a solid, powerful studio. I mean, look at the game that they made in 2018 with Spider-Man. Game runs good, voice acting, amazing, soundtrack, everything. The game just brought the whole package and brought the feel of what it felt like to be like a Spider-Man fan. You see, I've never really been a big Spider-Man fan. Never really been a big Spider-Man fan. But I will tell you, my son saw the preview for that game, and till this day, I regret ever showing him that preview because he's not a Batman fan anymore. Insomniac put out a Spider-Man trailer that literally took my son to the Marvel world. So now Dad is Team DC and my boy is Team Marvel, or Spider-Man. He doesn't care who Marvel. He doesn't even know a lot of the other Marvel heroes. He's like, who's that? Oh, that's the Incredible Hulk. Oh, okay, who's that? That's the Black Panther. Okay, who's that? Oh, that he knows Captain America. But Spider-Man is still his main, superhero now, because after seeing the trailer, seeing Spider-Man, seeing a lot of that just became his thing. Spider-Man themed everything now for him because Insomniac did such a good job. And as we saw it in the trailer, when the game, started to play, it wasn't really much different. The vibe and the feel and everything that they put in, I feel like they can actually bring that atmosphere to a Superman game. A Superman atmosphere is very, very heroic. The song and the music is always, jiving and moving, moving things, I hope I don't get demonetized. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just crazy, and I feel like Insomniac will probably be the company that brings that to life. I mean, sure, Rocksteady did a wonderful job with Batman. I cannot complain, about any of the 3 Arkham games that I've played from them. I mean, I haven't beaten Arkham Asylum yet. It's annoying me. I think the copy I have may be bugged. I cannot seem to get past where I am, even though I've accomplished the task. So I think there's a bug. So it will probably need me to go start all over again, or maybe play a console version of it to be able to beat it, which is a lot of work. But everything so far, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, and even what I've played from Arkham Asylum, solid writing, solid, presentation of everything. But I think Insomniac has, and that's an argument some people made on my old video. I think right now they have the blueprint to do a very solid Superman game. So, there might be another studio who's probably capable of doing it. But, it'll be a big budget game, and it has to be willing to sell it. And right now, it doesn't seem like in the public eye, Superman is jiving enough for them to be able to do something like that. But I think if, Warner Brothers or DC want to actually do a Superman package, then there's a way around it. All right, that's all I have. Thank you very much for your time and audience. React in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. If you're thinking that there'll ever be a Superman game, or maybe never, let me also know as well. And I guess I'll see you in my next video. Peace.